Guys, girls, anyone else, it's time for a revolution. It's time for a revolution. It is time to take back the word gambling for traders, and it is time to actually get people to understand and fully explain why trading and what we do on Betfair is so different to what most people think of when they think of gambling. Okay, why is there a need for this revolution? Who cares about terms and things like that? Well, the problem is that when you try to explain Betfair trading to people, they do not understand the concept. And often they'll turn, oh, so you're just gambling then? Well, in the definition of the word, yes, but in the way you think the word means, no. And I'll get into that stuff in a bit. But it's really important, I think, that we take this word back for ourselves, that we take back what we do, and actually people understand that it's not really any different to people betting on the stock market. And oh Christ, I mean, it's much better than people betting on crypto, which people have probably made massive losses on this year, anyone who's in that. So yeah, today is the day. We're going to take it back. If you've got a partner, if you've got a friend who does not understand that there's a difference or cannot get their head around what it is you do and why you do it, get them to watch this video. Okay, so what is it that we do on Betfair? Are we traders? Are we gamblers? Is there an in-between? Can both things be true? Well, the truth is that gambling is defined here on Wikipedia, and I'm going to actually get into what gambling is defined as. Gambling is the wagering, I'll just click actually where it is, of something of value on a random event with the intent of winning something else of value. I don't know why the phrase a random event is used. And again, maybe this is the first reason what we do isn't gambling, because I'm sure as hell not just doing it on a random event. I'm not just picking any old match and going, well, I'm going to bet on this. I'm using software, I'm using filters, I'm using criteria to determine which matches I use. I don't just do them randomly or just pick them, because I like the colour of the team or whatever, something like that. There's a lot of logic involved in what I do. So, if that is what gambling is, I don't think what I do is gambling then. But anyway, I'll carry on. Where instances of strategy are discounted. Wow. So all we ever talk about on BetfairTradingCommunity.com is trading strategies, right? All I ever teach you is strategies, show you results, back it up, use accountability with my spreadsheets that you can all watch me do live every day, where I actually put the selections out beforehand, then fill in the results. So actually what we do is incredibly different so far, isn't it? Because it's actually saying instances of strategy are discounted. Gambling thus requires three elements to be present: consideration, an amount wagered, risk, chance, and a prize, which is profit. I mean, doesn't this just sound like everything in life, right? Like when we break it down, right? So three elements: consideration, an amount wagered. Let's say you put yourself out there and go out on a date. Let's go really left field, right? You go out on a date. You buy dinner for whoever you're on a date with, right? Maybe that's your amount wagered. Your risk is they're not going to be interested. You might have a terrible night. You don't know who they are. It could be an absolute just horror show. And the prize is you could find the one you love. You could find your one true love, and that's the prize you're gunning for. Isn't that just, if this is the definition of gambling, surely pretty much everything we do is gambling. I mean, getting on a plane, your amount wagered, you pay for your ticket. What's the risk? Well, the risk is you could crash, something could happen, you could get held hostage, loads of things could happen. And what's the prize? The prize is you get to a destination across the world that you never would have been able to travel to before. If you were just using a car, for instance, you'd be able to get there, would you? So these are kind of left field suggestions. Let's put it into something a bit more practical. So let's think about the stock market. Well, the stock market is exactly this. You wager an amount. There's massive risk, especially if you don't know what you're doing. In fact, I would imagine, and I don't have any figures on this, but I would imagine because of the amount of people that use stocks, there will be a lot more money people lose on stocks this year than there will people gambling on betting sites. But it won't be reported. It will never be reported. I'd love to know how much money people have lost on crypto this year. If you totaled it across the world, it's going to be billions and billions and billions. That would not happen. Even the worst gamblers would not be able to rack up that kind of debt. And the prize, of course, is to make a profit. Okay, in stock market trading, it's exactly the same as trading on Betfair. And to be honest, placing any bet, right? If they're the three things that are considered, then that is basically the same thing. So that's the definition of gambling. I'll go through it just kind of without interrupting it. Gambling is the wagering of something of value, so the stakes, on a random event with the intent of winning something else of value, where instances of strategy are discounted. Now that's really interesting to me because I've never actually looked this up before, and I didn't realise that instances of strategy mean that it isn't gambling. So what we do, by definition, on Betfair Trading Community is not gambling. We're all using strategies. You're all advised to use strategies that have been tested lots over time to make sure that they're actually successful before you even put real money on it, so that your risk factor is so low by the time you actually get invested into it. That actually I think we can confidently say that what we do is not gambling. Okay, so let's have a look at trading. Now I couldn't find an actual definition just for trading. The kind of closest one I could get was trading strategy, which is fine because obviously, you know, that's what we associate ourselves with on betfairtradingcommunity.com. So let's just go through the definition first, then we'll talk about it. In finance, well, we're in finance, that's for sure, but maybe not in the way they're going to think. A trading strategy is a fixed plan that is designed to achieve a profitable return by going long or short in markets. The main reasons that a properly researched strategy helps are... Okay, I just had to move my head there. So the main reasons that a properly researched trading strategy helps are its verifiability. I really should edit these videos, but I'm not going. I don't want to. I want you to know the truth. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Quantifiability, consistency and objectivity, verifiability. It must just be verifiability. I don't know why I struggle with that. Now, verifiability, quantifiability, consistency and objectivity. This is what we do, right? Research trading strategy. That is exactly what we do at Betfair Trading Community. So if you ever get anyone ask you what it is you do, then send them to this and say, we basically apply this principle to sports betting. And that's the truth of it, right? The truth is we're looking at research strategies. We're looking to take on a market, get a price that's value, and then exit when it's gone our way, or if you're just letting it run. Basically making sure that your strike rate over time achieves you a profit. I mean, the second line of this as well is great. It really does kind of confirm this is what we do. For every trading strategy, one needs to define assets to trade. Okay, well, that'd be your bankroll. Entry, exit points. Okay, well, that's very easy. We know that. And money management rules. Bankroll management, one of the big things we talk about all the time. Now I like this because I'm always saying this. Bad money management can make a potentially profitable strategy unprofitable. And I'll actually add to this. Bad money management makes potentially profitable traders unprofitable. Okay, so bankroll is huge. Bankroll is so important to Betfair Trading. And you know, at betfairtradingcommunity.com, we're always banging on about the importance of bankroll management and basically why it will be the difference between your success and not. You know, if you've got good strategies, there's no reason you shouldn't make money other than bad bankroll management. So this is really interesting. And I think if you've got a partner or you've got a friend or whatever, someone that you want to share this with, do. Because if you want someone to actually understand what it is you do, trading strategy, this is actually one of the best definitions of it that I've seen outside of Betfair, where it's going, yeah, I could try and show you what it is through Betfair, But people just don't get it. Like, I've tried to explain to, like, in layman's terms to people what Betfair is, and unless they're into betting in some way, they just do not get what it is. I think actually this is a better way to do it, mainly because it's on a site like Wikipedia, which people know, so they're going to trust it more than like going to Betfair or just googling Betfair. And actually saying that this is exactly what we do. We just use it on sports instead of the stock market. And I'm amazed actually that looking at that definition of gambling, what we do is not gambling. And it's funny because what we do is basically stock market stuff. Basically, we do the exact same thing, exact same principles that they have on the stock market. So, you know, it's an interesting one here. And I think it kind of puts it beyond all doubt. If you've got any questions about gambling versus trading, well, is what we do, is it gambling? Do you know what? I would have said to the definition, it is gambling. But actually, reading this here, what we do is not gambling at all. Because we don't, I mean, there's two factors that make this definition of gambling prove that what we do is essentially not gambling on a random event. Well, no one on BetfairTradingCommunity.com that I know of, and I hope no one, is just betting on random events. We're choosing shortlists. We're getting strategies built into software that actually gives us our selections each day. You know, my shortlist each day, you know, even if I'm looking at 10 strategies that day, my shortlist will end up being about 30, 40 matches long, and then maybe I'll filter it down from there out of hundreds of games that are on that day. We're never just trading on random events. That should never ever enter into your thought process as a Betfair trader. And then secondly, where instances of strategy are discounted. Well, what we do is all based around strategy. Like I say, go and look at my YouTube videos. There's tons of videos on strategies. Strategy is massive, you know, and I think that's the key here, is that we don't use random events. We're very specific about which matches we trade, and we're very specific about which strategies we use and the rules that we use within our strategies. So yeah, I mean, I'm actually quite pleased at reading this. I genuinely have never looked at this before, and I didn't know this, so this is all new to me. I love doing stuff like this though. I love coming on here, just doing stuff fresh, straight off the top of the head, you know, just seeing the first reaction and stuff like that, because I think it's more genuine. I think what we do on BetfairTradingCommunity.com, it's genuine, we're accountable. I think that's what really separates us from the pack. If you are interested in trading and you're not already a member, I really do recommend you check out BetfairTradingCommunity.com. We've got it set up so well for new traders where they can come in, you get the start here guide, and you literally will get taken step by step into becoming a much better trader. And that's kind of the one thing we know we can guarantee you, that you will become a better trader on BetfairTradingCommunity.com. To people who are already members out there, that I think you will find this a really helpful video to share with partners or people in your life, because this isn't just me saying, oh, this isn't gambling here. This is actually the proof. This is actually a definition on a widely respected site that, you know, especially on a subject like this, if it was wrong, would get corrected. We know that, right? You know that about Wikipedia. The joke with Wikipedia sometimes is that things are wrong, but actually on something as big as gambling, a topic like this, they will have edited this and sorted it out, you know, umpteen times. So yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with this. Like I say, I hadn't seen it. And I hope you'll have a really good week. And most importantly, I hope you make some money trading on Betfair this week.